Hello everyone, I am Piyush Goyal and I welcome you to Voxcel's YouTube channel. In this video, we're gonna discuss about Cambridge IELTS Book 20 Test 1 Academic Reading Passage 1. So this is the a much awaited video on Cambridge Book 20. It's the latest book and we're gonna see how to solve its first test, first passage. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So if you are familiar with our pattern, if you have seen our previous videos, you should know the rule. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just read the title of the passage and some extra information that is given here, but we are not gonna read the entire passage just right now. The Kakapo, okay, the Kakapo is a nocturnal flightless parrot that is critically endangered and one of New Zealand's unique treasures. Sorry about that. So this passage is about this particular parrot. It's a nocturnal. If you know about what animals or which animals are called nocturnal, those animals who stay awake at night, like owl and these kind of animals. So kakapo is one of those animals. But it's a basically a flightless parrot. So it's a species of, it's like family of parrot. It is endangered. We know this in much information, and it is found in New Zealand. Okay, we're not gonna read this particular information just yet. What we're gonna do is we're gonna just see the questions. Okay, so there are like 1 to 6 questions, and in these questions we have to write true, false, and not given. You should not confuse them and write yes, no, not given. Though the way we solve these questions, yes, no, not given, or true, false, not given, the way is the same, but we should follow the instruction words carefully. And we have another set from question 7 to 13. These are blanks, so we have to write just one word and or a number. So now let me just clarify something. There are two ways to do solve reading passages. First is just focus on first 6 questions, and then focus on 7 to 13 questions. So let's just say the benefit is you do not have to worry about what is given next. But for this, you should have some sort of reading practice, reading habit, so that you can store some kind of information in your head. So when you're gonna read these questions, so you can easily remember where the information was in the passage. Or second thing you can do is read the first question of this particular set and read the first question of this particular set. Do not read the entire set, because no matter how good your memory is, you will not be able to remember these kind of stuff. So just read the first question of this set and the first question of this set. So we're gonna do this, we're just gonna read the first question of this set so that you can easily remember the information. We're gonna take it step by step. First question: there are other parrots that share Kakapo's inability to fly. So when this was the main error that students usually make during true false not given, why they are not able to solve these kind of question, is that they usually try to match words. We will not match words. Here it is written even here that you have to say if the statement agrees with the information or if the statement contradicts the information. We are not gonna match words. So if the statement agrees with the information, we will say it is true. But if the statement contradicts, meaning to say it's opposite or it is in contrast of this information, we will say false. But if there is no information given, you cannot say either true or false. We will say not given. You should not assume anything from your side. Okay. So the question is saying there are other parrots. So other parrots meaning to say other than Kakapo that share Kakapo's inability to fly. So if in the paragraph it is written there are other parrots that cannot fly, when we will say it is information is true. But if there are no other parrots other than like Kakapo who cannot fly, like all other parrots can fly, we will say this is false. But if there is no comparison given, we will say not given. Okay, so what we will do is we will read the first paragraph. If we cannot find the information in the first paragraph, it is not mandatory that you will find the first question in the first paragraph, second question in the second paragraph, or thing like that. Maybe the first question is somewhere here, so do not worry about that. Read like easily. The kakapo, also known as the owl parrot, is a large forest dwelling bird with a pale owl like face. So here it is written what kind of resemblance, what how it looks like. Up to 64 centimeter in length, it has predominantly yellow-green feathers, forward-facing eyes, a large grey beak, large blue feet, and relatively short wings and tail. Here is something about wings, but it there nowhere here is mentioned about its ability to fly or inability to fly. Okay, it is the world's only flightless parrot. Okay, so here it is written, it is the world's only flightless parrot. So only means there is no other parrot in the world that cannot fly. All other parrots can fly. Only this particular type of parrot cannot fly. But what the question is saying, the question is saying that other parrots share Kakapo's inability to fly. So here we can easily deduce that. Uh, Let me edit. Okay, let me write here. So we can easily deduce that what should be the answer to this question. Let me change the color to red. Okay. So we can easily say that our answer to this question should be false. So it was quite easy to understand. I hope it is clear. Let me mark here also. So this is our information of question number 1. Just wait a second guys, let me write it here. I don't know what's happening. I have changed the color. So this is our question number 1. Hope it is clear. Moving forward to the second question. Adult Kakapo produce chicks every year. So uh, here the question is asking you to verify whether adult Kakapo produce chicks every year, meaning to say they give birth to children every year. So if female Kakapos like give birth to chicks every year, or maybe they are juveniles, or maybe some other thing can have been can could be written. So if they give birth to children every year, we will say true. But if they don't give birth to children every year, like every 2 years, 3 years, we will say false. And if it is nowhere written like when they give birth, or if they give birth to chicks every year or not, if we cannot say for sure, we will say the answer is not given. All right. So we'll continue from here. And is also possibly one of the world's longest living birds with a reported lifespan of up to 100 years. So it is nowhere written how many like babies they give birth to. Kakapo are solitary birds and tend to occupy the same home range for many years. They forage on the ground and climb high into trees. Nothing about birds. They often leap from trees and flap their wings, but at best manage a controlled descent to the ground. They are entirely vegetarian, and their diet including leaves, roots, and bark of trees, as well as bulbs and fern fronds. So here till now we haven't read about birth. So what we will do is, instead of writing not given just yet, we will read the third question. Adult male kakapo bring food back to nesting female. So we have not read anything about that. So one thing you can do is you can continue reading, or maybe If you are comfortable enough, I am only telling you in that particular case, if you're comfortable, go to the second set and read the first question. Maybe the second set first question can be here, so we are not so sure about that. We will find it here or not. It could be here, it could not be here. So if you are comfortable, you can do it. Otherwise, there is no need to do it. Let's see if we can find diet consists of. So we have read something about their diet like vegetarian. So there was something about their diet written. Fern fronds. Yes, we have read this particular word. This is our, you can say, locator words. Diet consists of fern fronds, various parts of tree, a tree and something. So they eat fern fronds, various parts of a tree and something. So here it is written something about fern fronds, including leaves, roots, bark of trees. So they are various parts of trees. Let me change the color to something else. Okay. They are various parts of trees as well as bulbs. So this should be our answer. Okay. So this should be our answer to this particular question. And here let me add the text. Let's change the color to blue. So okay. So our answer should be, yeah, okay, sorry about that. Let me check the spelling. It was bulbs. Bulbs. Yes, our answer should be bulbs. So, guys, another thing, you should be very careful that your spellings are correct, because if your spellings are incorrect in reading, your answer, though it could be correct, will be marked as incorrect, because they are not only checking your answers, they are also marking your spellings with it. So, you should be very careful about this. Okay. Don't take it lightly that your answer spelling doesn't matter. You can write whatever you write, or do not miss the S or ES with that also. Moving forward, so this is the benefit of reading the second set. So if you have like not found the first set question, you can read the second set or the third set if there are three sets given. But if you're not comfortable, I am again repeating it, if you are not comfortable with it, do not do this. Just attempt the first set, and then you can easily find this fern fonts. Okay, it is a common, it is quite easy to remember these kind of words. So we're gonna read the next paragraph. We're gonna read the question again. Adult Kakapo produce chicks every year. So we're gonna see if the information is given here. Kakapo breed. So here is something about breeding. Let me. We were using, okay, this particular. So here is something about breeding. So Kakapo breed in summer and autumn. Okay, they are producing these two particular seasons, but only in years when food is plentiful. Okay, they breed in summer and autumn, but not every year. They only breed, okay, in years when food is plentiful. It could be every year, it could be after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. For Kakapao, it doesn't matter. But if there is plentiful food, they will breed, otherwise, they will not breed. So we will say no, they do not breed every year, they just breed when the food is plentiful. Okay, let me change the color again to red. So what should be our answer to this? Yes, our answer to this should be false. Hope it is clear. Let me write here. Moving forward, third question. Adult male kakapo bring food back to nesting females. So if the adult male, or we'll say male Kakapo helps like females during nesting period, basically during breeding period. We will say the answer is true. So nesting female basically when they are, I believe it should refer to when they are pregnant or when they are like in the gestation period, or they are rearing chicks. So if they bring back food, so we will say yes, they help child rearing or in like child upbringing. If the adult male Kakapo helps in child rearing, we will say true. But if they don't, we will say false. And if there is no information given like how they rear their child or what is the role of male and female Kakapos in child rearing, we will say not given. We don't know whether what the males do this particular thing or not. Okay. So we'll continue here. Males play no part in incubation or chick rearing. So here it is clearly written, males, they do not have anything to do with this. Females alone incubate eggs and feed the chicks. So if males do not play any part in it, so we will say, let me change the color first. So we will say they do not bring any food to the breeding females, obviously, and our answer to this should be yes. But our answer to this should be, guys, yes. Our answer to this should be, let me mark it here, false. Very good. Now many of the students, what will they will do is they will see three false in a row and they will like say to themselves, it can't be right, there must be some mistake, they must have read something wrong. It is entirely possible in your even in your exam that you may have encountered three trues, three not givens, or three false. Okay, so, it doesn't matter if three questions are in line, they are false, true, or not given. If you are confident enough in your reading ability that you have read it correctly, do not worry about that. It is entirely normal thing in IELTS. Okay, you may encounter it. It doesn't mean it will happen every time. You can encounter it or you may not encounter it. But if you do not get nervous and think to yourself like one of these must be incorrect. So what they usually do is like this particular thing they will say not given. Okay, do not do that. If you are confident that you have read it correctly and if you're confident in your abilities to find the answers, mark what you what you believe is the correct. Okay, moving on to the next question. So if you want to read the next question, you can read the next question. Okay, uh, but if you think you are not confident enough, comfortable enough, there is no need of that. So we will not read the next question. Let's keep it simple. Okay, I have told you how to do this, but we will like read these questions first. If I am not able to find the answer in these paragraphs, we will read the next question of this particular set. But if we are like finding the answer side by side, we will just focus on these questions. Okay, I hope it is clear. Next question, fourth. The Polynesian rat was a greater threat to the Kakapo than Polynesian settlers. So, if the Polynesian rat was, okay, let me again mark it. If the Polynesian rat was the greater threat, okay, meaning to say the threat of Polynesian rat, if that is threat to the Kakapo was greater than Polynesian settlers, we will say the answer is true. But if Polynesian settlers, basically Polynesian humans, uh, they were like killing Kakapo more than the rat, so if if the Kakapo is under threat, basically if the parrot is under threat, it is its life is in danger, so they are killing it. So if humans are killing more Kakapos than rats, we will say false. But if rats are killing more Kakapos than humans, we will say the answer is true. But if there is no such information given, who is killing more Kakapos, rats or humans, we will say not given. Okay, so moving forward, the 1 to 4 eggs are laid in soil which is repeatedly turned over before and during incubation. The female kakapo has to spend long periods away from the nest searching for food, which leaves the unattended eggs and chicks particularly vulnerable to predators. Before humans arrived and kakapo were so there is something about humans. So, but we don't know if it is about Polynesian humans or something, but there is something about humans. Let me change the color so that we can know we are doing this particular thing here also. So arrived kakapo were common throughout New Zealand's forest. However, this all changed with the arrival of first Polynesian settlers. So this is our keyword, about 700 years ago. For the early settlers, the flightless kakapo was easy prey. So obviously they were killing them. They ate its meat and used its feathers to make soft cloaks. So cloaks are basically, you can it's a cape type of cloth. With them came the Polynesian dog and rat. So here's about, okay, let me correct it again. So here is something about Polynesian rat and dog, which also preyed on kakapo. By the time European colonizers arrived in the early 1800s, kakapo had become confined to central North Island and forested parts of the South Island. So here European colonizers. So here the location has changed, so we don't know. They are both Polynesian settlers and Polynesian rat. They were preying on kakapo, but which one is the greater threat, Polynesian settlers or Polynesian rat? We have no information on that. So this is question number 4. Let me write here. So because of that, what should be our answer here? Because we have no information who is the greater threat, we cannot say for sure. We just know that both human settlers and both Polynesian settlers and rats, they were like preying on kakapos. But who is the greater threat, nothing about that is given. So obviously what we will do is we will say the answer to this question should be not given. What happened here? I don't know. Is it bold or something like that? So doesn't matter. Let it be like this. We will bold the entire phrase if it is gonna be bold. Okay, not given. Next question. Kakapo were transferred from Rakura Island. So here's something about Rakura Island to other locations because they were at risk from feral cats. So if Kakapos, they were transferred from this particular place to other locations. So other locations, they may say the names of other locations, okay, or they may say to different locations. Obviously, they, because they were at risk from feral cats, because feral cats were also preying on them, they were eating them in large numbers. So, and because of them, they have to shift from Rakura Island to other locations. We will say the answer is true. But if they were shifted from Rakura Island to other location, but not because of feral cats, but because of some other predators like maybe rats or other animals, we will say false. Or maybe they were shifted from other locations to Rakura Island. Again, that will be the false. But if we don't know where, if they have transferred from the Rakura Island to other locations, but we don't know the reason why they were transferred, like because they were at risk from feral cats or other predators, we don't know about that. We will say not given simply. Okay. So here what we will do is we will try to find this particular word or this particular animal, because these two words cannot be paraphrased or cannot be used synonyms for. Okay. So until or unless we are finding Rakura Island, we will just continue skimming the text. Or what you can do is, if you want to read it thoroughly, you can read it thoroughly. Let's just say if we are not if we haven't find Rakura Island till here. Okay, let's see, if we haven't find Rakura Island till here, what we will do is we can read the second question of the second set. Okay, but right now we are not gonna do this. We're gonna do that in some other reading maybe. But first, here we will go with the simplest way. We will just solve the first questions and then we will go to the second one. Okay, so what we'll do is we will find this particular word. Colonizers, the Kakapo are confined to this. The Kakapo numbers was affected by European colonization. Again, this is something about European colonization. A great deal habitat was lost through forest clearance. There are no new species introduced. Deer, okay, here again European word. Remaining forest food. Other predators such as cats, stored. So the two more species were rats were introduced. Nothing about Rakura, Kakapur conservationist. So we're gonna skim that text. Okay, so I'm gonna read it a bit faster. So until and unless we're gonna find this Rakura word, we're gonna skim the text. You should also try practicing like this. From 1949 to 1973, New Zealand Valley to 1960. We will just mark some numbers so that if it's in the second set, we're gonna find them easily. All but one died in captivity in 1974. Okay, sorry about that. 1977. 18 were Kakapo were found in Fidorland, however, no females. 77 large population male was spotted in. Here is Rakura. Okay. So now we have found this particular word. We will read it now in detail. In 1977, a large population of males was spotted in Rakura, a large island free from toads, ferrets, and weasels, but still not feral cats. There were about 200 individuals, and 1980 it was confirmed females were also present. So 1980 females, something about females were present. These words have also been foundation of all subsequent work in okay managing the species. Here is no information about feral cats or shifting from Rakura to other. Unfortunately, okay, here is feral cats on Rakura Island. Here is Rakura Island. Unfortunately, predation by feral cats on Rakura Island led to rapid decline in Kakapo numbers. As a result, during 1980-97, the surviving population was evacuated to three island sanctuaries. Sorry about that. So, unfortunately, because of the predation of like Kakapos by feral cats, they have to evacuate the Rakura island and they have to shift them to three islands. So other islands, other locations to three islands. So yes, they have to be shifted from Rakura island because of the predation by feral cats. Okay, the surviving population was evacuated to three sanctuaries. So these are the names of those three places where they were shifted. So this is our question number 5. So we know they have been shifted because of like threat to these particular species. So what your answer should be? Let me mark it here so that we can know this is our location of question number 5. So yes, they were shifted because of the threat of feral cats? Our answer to this is obviously true. Hope it is clear. Moving on to the next question. One recovery plan initiative that helped increase the Kakapo population size was caring for struggling young birds. So one recovery plan. So here they have written R and P capital. So they must this must be a sort of a name. So we have to find recovery plan words in our passage to find this location. So initiative just means the starting point. Obviously, helped increase the Kakapo population size was caring for struggling young birds. So in this particular plan, they helped the population size. Basically, the population size increased because they were helping struggling young birds to recover from their illnesses, or maybe they were not healthy enough to survive. So they helped them to survive by using different medical procedures or things like that, but they helped young birds who were struggling. Okay, so because of that the population size grew. So if this is the case, we will say the answer is true. But they were not like, if it is not the case, if they were not like helping the struggling birds, they were doing something else, and because of that population size grew, we will say the information is false. But if we know the population size grew, but we don't know the reason how this recovery plan helped the population size to grow, we will say not given. Hope it is clear why the answer is will be true, false, or not given. Let's find recovery plan. However, breeding success is hard to achieve. Rats were found to be major predators. So here's something about rats, and they are being major predators. Okay, let me change the color. This is the year 12 chicks. So whenever you are skimming, so you should mark if there is any name of a person or year, because the dates and person's names, these cannot be paraphrased. So if we have to find that particular information for the second set, it will be quite easier for us to go through that. The Kakapo population dropped to 51 birds. The critical situation prompted urgent recovery plan. Okay, so here is our word recovery plan. Recovery plan initiative was launched. Initiative been starting together with the specialist advisory group, the Kakapo Scientific Technical Advisory Committee. A high amount of funding. Renewed steps were taken to control predators on the three islands. Cats were eradicated from the Little Barrier Island in 1980, and possums were eradicated from the Codfish Island by 1986. Okay, sorry about that. However, the population did not start to increase until rats were removed from three islands and the birds were more intensively managed. This involved the birds being okay. So here is population size growth. So population did not start to increase until rats were removed and the birds were more intensively managed. So here's something about recovery plan. What they were doing in this recovery plan. This involved moving birds between islands, supplementary feeding adults, and rescuing and hand raising any failing chicks. So they were doing all of these things. They were killing their predators, they were in moving birds from one island to other. They were supplementary feeding adults and rescuing and hand raising any failing chicks. Failing chicks simply means those chicks who, if they were not taken care of, they would have succumbed or they would have died. Okay. So our question number 6 is also saying was taking care of struggling young birds, and our answer to this location is here. And what our answer, let me just change the color so that we can easily understand it. Sorry about that. So they were rescuing and hand raising any failing chicks. So they are also saying this plan includes population size grow because they were taking care of struggling kids. So the answer to this should be True. Hope it is clear. So this is how you should solve these sets. So moving on to the next set. So what you can also do is, like we have solved this particular question, sorry, you can solve the remaining questions as well. So here is Polynesian settlers. So European colonizers, we have read about that already. So if you want to do like that, you can do like this, but it's a bit more demanding because you have to take care of two. Let's just say if there are three sets of questions, maybe in second passage usually you get three sets of questions, or in third passage you can get three sets of questions. So it can be a bit more demanding because of that. So if you can handle that, you are more than welcome to do that. But if you are like little overwhelmed by these kind of things, keep it simple. But so for yourself, take each set at its merit. Okay. So second question: nests are created in dash where eggs are laid. So we have to find this particular information. So where eggs are laid, nests are created in. In meaning, why I'm not able, okay. In meaning to say, sorry about that. In meaning to say, in something. Okay. So nests are created in like trees, in in anything. Okay. So in anything where eggs are laid. So we know where bulbs are where bulbs is written. So we will just go from there. So bulbs, okay. So here was something about eggs. The 1 to 4 eggs are laid in, where they are laid. Let me change the color. So they are laid in, yes, soil. So our answer to this should be soil. Let me first write the question here so that when you later visit it, you can easily understand or locate the answer. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm not able to. What is happening here? Just give me 1 second. So our answer to this should be soil. I think this color we have chosen. Okay, this color. So our answer should be soil. Hope it is clear. Next question: arrival of Polynesian settlers. So we know where Polynesian settlers is written. So we will read the question. The dash of the Kakapo were used to make clothes. So if you remember, I have told you a word. It was a form of a cloth. Can you remember the word? I will just wait for 2 or 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Yes, we have read something about this here. This word is written here, clocks. So I have told you what are clocks. It's like a type of a cape. So if for those who don't know about cape or clocks, so if you have seen the movie called Superman, of if you are like familiar with Superman, Batman, these kind of superheroes, you must have seen them obviously. So what they wear on their back is sort of type of a cape that flies in the air when they run or when they fly. So they this is it is called cape. So it is a clock. So what they are using to make clocks, so they are using the Kakapos feathers. Okay, let me change the color first. So they were using Kakapos feather to make the clock. It is our question number 9. So whenever you're transferring the answers, be okay, sorry about that. Be very careful that you should Write the exact word. Okay. So let me adjust if it is adjustable. I believe I can move it a bit more here. Okay. So this is our answer. Feathers. Clear? Next question, arrival of European colonizers. So we have already read about European. It was just after the Polynesian settlers. Dash were an animal which they introduced that ate the Kakapos food sources. So we what we have to write here, we have to write the species of animal that ate Kakapos food. So Kakapos, if you remember, they are like vegetarian. They eat part of trees, bulbs, and fronds. So basically, the animal that is eating Kakapos food should be vegetarian. Also, let's see which animal is that. That was introduced by Europeans. So here it is European. By the time European colonizers arrived in the early 1800s, Kakapao had become confined to central North Island and forested parts of South Island. The fall in Kakapo numbers was accelerated by European colonization. A great deal of habitat was lost through forest clearance, and introduced species such as deer depleted the remaining forests of food. So, which species they introduced that depleted their resources, Kakapo's resources? Yes, deer. Okay, so our answer to this is our question number 10. So our answer is which species deer were an animal. So let me write here deer. Hope it is clear. Next question, protecting Kakapau. Richard Henry, a conservationist, tried to protect Kakapau. A definite sighting of female Kakapau on Rakura Island was reported in the year dash. So we have to find this particular person's name. Okay, so we have to find this particular person name. So we will find remaining. So we have to find definite sighting of female Kakapa in the year. So we have to write the year here. Which in which year they found female Kakapa. So we'll read from here. Sorry about that. Richard Henry. Okay, depleted cats towards Richard New Zealand. Richard Henry. Here it is written the name of the person. Okay, let me change the color here to green. Led an effort to relocate several hundreds of the birds in the island Fairland. Unfortunately, this predator-free stores arrived within 6 years, eventually destroying Kakapo population. By the mid, this Kakapo was practically a lost species. Only a few clung to life in the most isolated parts of New Zealand. From 1949 to 1973, the newly formed New Zealand Wildlife 60 expeditions to find Kakapau, focusing mainly on Fiordland. Six were caught, but there were no females. Okay, in this paragraph, I believe we should find the answer. Here it is no female, but we have to find the female. One died. New initiative was launched in Kakapau. However, there were still no females. Okay, okay, what is other thoughts? They were about on confirmed female. So we have already read something about it. And in which year the females were confirmed? In 1980, it was confirmed females were also present. So this is our answer. I will change the color. So this is our answer to question number 11. So which year it was? So we know surely about that. It was year number 1980. Clear? Next question. The recovery plan. So we know where recovery plan is written. Included an increase in. So we have to find what increased in recovery plan. So these are our keywords: increase in, and this is our locator word, recovery plan. Let's see. Here it is recovery plan. So in 1996, a new recovery plan was launched together with a specialized advisory group called Kakapo Scientific and Technical Advisory Committee and a higher amount of funding. So higher amount in other words simply means increase. So what they have increased? They have increased their sorry about, let me change the color. They have increased their funding. So this is our question number 12th answer. So we know they increased funding. So funding should be our answer. Moving on to the last question. A goal of the recovery plan is to maintain the involvement of dash in Kakapao protection. So current goal basically means, okay, you have to find something about the present, okay, or whenever the present was for according to that particular article. So present tense should be used there in that particular paragraph of the recovery plan is, so here it is also written, is obviously maintain the involvement of. So we are maintaining the involvement of something or someone, maintain the involvement of the government, of people, of things like that. Okay, so you get the idea basically. In Kakapao protection, so to protect the Kakapaos we have to maintain the involvement of something or someone, maintain the involvement of locals, okay, basically people. So let's see. After the first 5 years of the recovery plan, the population was, this is in the past, by 2000 new females had been, again it is in the past, was, it is in the past, a future. So we have to, it is in the past, okay, today. So this is present obviously. Let me change the color here. Here let me change the color also so that you can know it is second set. Kakapo management continues to be guided by Kakapo recovery plan. Its key goals are to minimize the loss of genetic diversity in the Kakapo population, restore or maintain sufficient habitat to accommodate the expected increase in the Kakapo population, and ensure stakeholders continue to be fully engaged in the preservation of the species. So continue basically to saying maintaining something, to be fully engaged. So if they are engaged, basically they are part of the plan. So it is saying involvement in Kakapa protection. Involvement basically meaning engaging. So who are we engaging, or who are we continuing to engage? We are trying to keep the engagement of our stakeholders. So stakeholders basically referring to people. So this is our answer to question number 13. Stakeholders. Okay, let me just minimize the, okay. So this is how you should solve your reading. So you, again I am telling you, you have two methods. Either focus on first set and then go on to the second set. but you should underline the keywords as you go along. Or if you are not able to find any question of first set in the first paragraph, you can read the first question of the second set or the third set if it is given. Or simultaneously you can do is, if you are reading the first paragraph, read the first question of the first set, then first question of the second set, and then first question of the third set if there are three sets, two or three sets. Okay, it is a bit time, bit you can say overwhelming for some students, so there is no one correct method or there is no shortcut. Do whatever suits you. There is no, like, then there is in English it is saying that there is no one size that fits all. Everyone has different needs. uh, Everyone feels like comfortable in different styles of solving reading, so there are two styles. Whatever suits you the best, find out, do practice with both types, but stick to the one which suits you the best and continue practicing with that particular style, so that it can, you are accustomed to it like back of your hand, and in the exam you do not have to worry about anything. I hope it is clear to you. This is how you should solve your reading. And if you are not able to clear your doubts, you can re-watch this video. And we have uploaded other Cambridge books also. And if you still want our help, I'm gonna leave the link to our website in the description box. You can go to our website and contact us there. We have made one of the most, if not the most, extensive courses on the IELTS. So if you want to enroll in our course, become one of our students, we are happy to help you. We have helped countless students. This course covers extensively all the tips that you're gonna need for your achieving band 7 or more in your writing, speaking, whether reading or listening. You want to achieve 8 or whatever scores in your listening, this course will help you do that. This course focuses on the parameters what examiners are looking for, and why you are not able to get all elusive band 7 in writing or speaking, why you're stuck at 6 or 6.5. In this course we have clarified all of those things. So I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.